Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pinnacle Cup. It's the playoffs on the line now into the quarterfinals. First up, we'll be seeing Sinners versus Copenhagen Flames, where it feels like it's March all over again, when the teams were fighting for the top 30 spots. Now, the fight is on again, but their fight is for something different. Not for just some mere number in the global rankings. They're fighting for a chance to become the champion of the Pinnacle Cup. My name is X-Ray, and of course, by my side is the lovely Wild Deity. And man, I am hyped about this match, and I'm sure you are as well.
Yeah, but Pavlos, I need to quickly ask you first, why does your head get bigger every time on camera? What is going on here?
Oh, I'm just too big brain, man. I'm just too big
brain. Every other cast, you're just absorbing all of the information. It's lovely.
You know, if I've got so good analysis coming out from a guy next to me, I have to absorb it some way, and my brain just expands due to that fact. But let's have a look at the brackets and see how exactly things are moving onwards here in the playoff stage so far. Because yesterday we saw the round of 12, where basically 6 teams were battling it out to see if they can make it through. Not 6, 8. Apologies for that. But Mouse NXT and Copenhagen Flames went head-to-head, with Copenhagen Flames getting the full-on reverse sweep on their opponents, now facing against Sinners, who did qualify first, from the first top 2, being undefeated in the Swiss stage, and by default being set into that upper bracket. Ents versus Havu being a very close affair apart from that second map, which did mean that Havu did have a chance to come back in a very dominant fashion, winning off the third one, taking over now Endpoint in the quarters. And heading over to the other side of the bracket, we do see Skade really taking on Entropic. I guess this was one of the most anticipated matches throughout that round of 12 stage, where Skade actually made it across. They managed to beat the top dogs Entropic, and now have to beat the top of the line Forza to see if they can qualify onwards. And of course, Fiend versus Young Ninjas meant that the Young Ninjas got eliminated. No more academy teams being played out in the Pinnacle Cup. They've all been knocked out, but now they've got a strong deal to take on. It's Team Spirit they're going to have to play up against today.
Absolutely. But for the matchup at hand today, Pavlos, how are we feeling about this? Sinners versus Copenhagen Flames.
Yeah, Sinners, like I did make a little bit of a preview for Sinners and Copenhagen Flames, but I can sort of get us back into it. It's the Danish lineup and the Czech Republic lineup, where these two teams, I feel like there's been a little parallel battle going on for months when it comes to these guys, but I think they also have a very similar story where Resurgence comes into play, because I remember at the start of the year, Sinners wanted to hit top 30, Copenhagen Flames wanted to prove themselves and as one of the most worthy teams, and I guess at the start of the year, it was Oscar's addition that sort of pushed Sinners to that line, right? It was where these guys proved themselves to be one of the top dogs in the tier 2 scene, but today, in this tournament as well in the whole, it feels like there's a brand new Resurgence, a 3-0 start from them in the Swiss stage, now qualifying already automatically into the quarterfinals. I think they've got a really good chance to showing people what they're made of and actually taking this tournament home.
Absolutely, and you mentioned the addition of Oscar. That was a complete game changer for Sinners. To have that kind of competent AWP player and just to have the big brains in the form of Oscar, it entirely changes their lineup. And that's why I think that Sinners have largely been the dark horses of this kind of lineup. You know, even if you look at their past 9 series, they've been unbeaten. In fact, in the last 18 maps that they played, they've only lost out 3, and none of them have actually resulted in losing out a series. So it's actually kind of crazy how dominant Sinners have been. So they're honestly one of the Grim Reapers in this tournament, the team that nobody can seem to truly crack.
Yeah, but it comes to the tier 2 scene, so consistency always plays a vital role, and I feel like if Sinners are able to perform consistently again, they may be able to pull through for yet another time. But they're not the only team sort of in this situation, right? Because Copenhagen Flames themselves have been a slight Grim Reaper on their own Swiss stage run, haven't they? Because they did get themselves to that 2-0 loss point for quite some time, where when another loss would have come through, they would have been eliminated entirely. But they were able to hold on to their ground and managed to hold on through. As you can see, this lineup has had some various difficulties for the past few months. I believe in May, that was when things got scrambled up. But I think now is a time where this team is sort of feeling more like a unit, and they're performing on their... And they're starting to build up their map pool in a way which works really well for them. And I really like the way that they blend together now as a whole. They work like a unit, they look like a unit, and, well, let me tell you, if they are able to get a win against Sinners today, they will seem like an absolute unit.
I agree with that. But there is a big problem here, Pavlos. You mentioned that there's a lot of inconsistency in that Tier 2 to Tier 3 scene, and Copenhagen Flames are one of the biggest examples of that. I think losing out against Young Ninjas, it's okay, you got caught on stream, but yeah, it's okay. But Young Ninjas, they were able to beat out Copenhagen Flames in a very dominant fashion. And that is an academy roster. And that's not to take away any credit from Young Ninjas. Of course, they had some lights out performances, but it's also the fact that Copenhagen Flames, on paper, they were supposed to be a mile apart. They did have some recovery, so they do have that going in their way. The fact that they beat out Mao's NXT 2-1, I really like that. But you know what? If you can beat out Mao's NXT, which is one of the most dominant up-and-comer teams. I think most people are saying that is the best academy squad right now. And then also lose out to Young Ninjas. I'm not sure where that consistency is going. It becomes truly a fickle affair for them to really have their hands on the steering wheel.
Oh, absolutely. And I think also people realize that consistency does play a vital role. And Copenhagen Flames, I think they've realized it themselves, right? So I think that is something they are struggling and they're battling with all the time. I think they've noticed a few of their mistakes and they've been able to correct them. Don't take this wrong. I think they've shown a really good self here in this tournament, and to progress now, take that victory against their opponents now from the previous stage, a 2-1 victory, a reverse sweep as well, which does show that they've also got some confidence coming into it and mental prowess really to pull through from that. It's a really good strong point, and now being placed in number 30 in the world, there isn't really much to differentiate between themselves and Sinners when it comes to the world ranking, so they can only just prove us wrong when it comes to the testament that Sinners might come ahead when it comes to this series. But I believe the veto is ready for us to see how exactly this matchup will unfold.
Yeah, and let's look at the bans coming out from Copenhagen Flames. They've banned out Mirage, and you know what? They haven't really had too much success on it, so no surprises there. Sinners banning out Nuke. That is one of the maps that they play often, but I don't think they feel too comfortable on it right now. Copenhagen Flames, straight up, heading into the Overpass pick, which can be a bit of a problem for them, because Sinners, they've won 5 out of the 6 games they've played. The only saving grace for Copenhagen Flames might be the fact that Sinners haven't really had too much experience on it, so it's a map that Sinners are comfortable with, but it's not something they particularly love playing. But this is where it gets interesting, Pavlos. This Vertigo pick favors both teams. Copenhagen Flames, they've got a 70% win rate, exact same for Sinners, but it's just a difference of Sinners playing out a lot more maps and against a lot more teams. So that map in particular, I feel like it could go any other way. Overpass, yes, we already mentioned that's going to be a bit dicey considering that Sinners haven't really played it too much, but you know what? I think the meat and potatoes of this game could potentially be Ancient. And the reason I say that is that I think the first 2 maps could be a coin flip. But Ancient, I want to hear your thoughts on that, Pavlos.
Oh man, Ancient, you know, it's fairly new still, right? I'd consider it an okay map for everyone when we reach that 6-month mark, right? I think that's sort of fair, because Dust 2, not Dust 2, Counter-Strike as a whole sort of moves slowly as a scene when it comes to these changes. It takes some time for teams to get acclimatized, but then it's sort of it's a trickle-down effect, right? Let the top teams figure it out and then slowly move downwards per scene. And I think it's sort of being illustrated that the tier 2 dogs, if they want to have if they want to sort of prove themselves against the top of the line teams, they need to be the first ones to sort of break through when new maps come underway. And I think Sinners is one of those teams that hasn't quite practiced Ancient that much. Isn't a team that really has liked to perform it. Although when they do play it, it seems like they have really good results in it. It just feels like they have sort of left it on the sidelines and let it be and let it kind of boil up for them to regain sort of composure on their own other maps where they know they can get themselves the advantages. But now the fact that they're leaving it open for a decider perhaps means that they've got what it takes to take that 3rd map home.
Yeah, it's actually crazy that Sinners were able to beat out Big, but that was when the map was even newer. So, you know what? You can't really expect any of the top teams to figure it out. In fact, I would go ahead and say that even in the Tier 1, in between the Tier 1 and 2 scene, there isn't a massive difference of individual skill. You know, it's not like they're completely completely out of reach. So I don't think we can give that particular win too much credit. But we're going to be heading right into the game, so we can start things off with the first map.
And of course, we're right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Overpass to be the first map of this series. As you can see, the Pinnacle odds do predict that Sinners are slightly favored at 1.4 ratio to 2.7. And I think I'd agree that Sinners may have the upper hand in this and whole endeavor, but Copenhagen Flames starting things off on Overpass on their own map pick. They'll be very happy in that regard. Slow start from the Sinners as they're lingering a little bit over onto the playground side.
They've left one player in short, 4 members looking to get early information, and perhaps even the bomb down on the A site. Sticking to the left wall to give off as few audio cues as possible, and that should be easy pickings because Rowage has been overwhelmed. 3 players coming his way, and now the rotations should be called in by the Flames. Will an additional player be available in short to intercept?
Oh, I like the fact that they've left Shock down to that short angle. Can also do some noise in that approximate area. They don't have control over connectors, so Copenhagen Flames are going to have to sort of clear out this information. I think Hooksy with his jump up may have spotted out a player, but apart from that, sort of a long distance to check out on these pixels. But smoke out. Seems like Sinners got an idea of where they want to head towards. It's this A site to start things off. To qualify to the semi-finals, this is what they're looking for, this matchup, and Yabi will be the first man to have to deal with this whole onslaught, holding down his angle. Zetko, the first to put up a kill as Yabi has to fall, and now they may want to move onwards onto the site. Bomb planted, and Copenhagen Flames trying to play catch-up now, rotating on towards Bank.
And they don't even have the numbers advantage. Up close and personal, Sinners won't allow them to walk through these gates of hell. Shock. He's got the right idea. That's one tap. Misses the second, but it doesn't matter too much. They've gotten the job done, and Shock will secure the deal. That's one more nail in their coffins, and Sinners, they're off to a stellar start.
One and 0 for the Sinner side. Good retake.
This is something that they...
Yeah,
go on.
I was surprised that Sinners was just moving in so slowly. I would have thought that they would have wanted to go for more of an aggressive approach, but yeah.
What I was going to mention is that it's very important for Sinners to be picking up this first round, because we've already talked about how Sinners can find it a little bit shaky on Overpass. Yes, they've got a few wins here and there, and most of the maps they've played, they've been wins, but the problem is that this isn't their pick. They want to shut down Copenhagen Flames early on if they want that 2-0, but I think this is the one game that has all the makings of a 3-mapper. The Flames, they've got a scout rifle in the hands of Nikodas, hand cannons to supplement. Playing up close in toilets, Deagle in hand. Let's see if these duels can go their way. Basic, he's got the money-making machine, and it's about to come right through.
Ooh, Beastic, there you have it. First kill, Zedko to quickly follow it up. Heading onto the A slightly now as they move onwards. Nikodas all by himself really with that scout. What can you do? I'm wondering here, because we know how Nikodas can have high impact when it comes to scoped weapons, but Zedko won't permit him of any sort of prospect regarding that. And apart from that, Sinners, it's a clean endeavor, although a lot of players take a lot of damage. It's a 2-0 start for them nonetheless.
And I'm a bit surprised that this isn't chaotic to begin with, because honestly, in most of the games, especially that we saw in the Swiss stages, it felt like the pistol rounds were the ones with the most action. The Deagles, the scout rifles, are going absolutely nuts. And this is something I often like about the Tier 2 scene. The lack of polish, the lack of refined edges in some instances. By the way, this isn't me taking away credit. This is just me saying that, yes, of course, if you're not the top dogs, you are going to lack a bit of polish. But yes, to continue my point, I think the chaotic mess it can create to not have the perfect protocols, to not have everything methodical, it can further contribute to action. Having a few Deagle rounds that go your way, having scout rifles come out, swinging punches with MAC-10s, XM's going wild, the whole works. I think that kind of environment is conducive to producing that kind of action, so, you know, you gotta love to see it.
Oh, absolutely. And you mentioned XM, that's where you caught my ears. You know, when shotguns are at play, that's what you love to see. That's what I love to see. And I know I might be a minority when it comes to it, but you know, my favorite weapons to use in the game. A lot of people hate me for it when I buy a Swag 7 during a full buy round, but hey, that's just life. I tell them, deal with it. Yeah, don't play Counter-Strike with me. I will do that, and you will hate me for the rest of your life. Oh, movement from Pinnacle Flames, a gamble coming out here from their side. It's just pistols, but so I'm just going to let you just speak about what you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way this goes their way, right? Okay, it's a lineup. We can start things off. That's a couple kills for Yabby, and maybe could have added one more to the tally, but Shock will not be allowing any of it. It got a bit spicy there for a second, and maybe Zyphon can still add some flavor. He's got his Deagle nice and running. 2 kills already under his belt. Does he anticipate Zedko coming around the corner? He's got an AK. Now the position's been telegraphed, but Zedko will save it. And where I previously mentioned that the rounds were too clean, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think you need to stop talking because the Caster's Curse being brought out from the 3rd round is something that we need to fear. Because when you start rolling the ball, it will keep on rolling. And yeah.
Return the eco rounds or suffer my curse.
Oh dear, man. Just stop it.
Oh man, that episode used to give me nightmares, if you know what I'm referencing. Oh god, no, you haven't watched Courage the Cowardly Dog either? Why would you do this to me, Pavlos?
Man, I don't know. You haven't watched How I Met Your Mother, so I'm not really gonna discuss this right now.
A few episodes here and there.
Ah, well,
but yeah, look at this, Pavlos.
Ooh, Roge has no idea. Although I think he's given away this Q. He's just checking if Connector's being inhabited, but I don't think they know where Roge exactly is hiding. I don't think he's been spotted out. Has he made noise?
Oh, there it is.
Peekaboo. Goodbye, sir. I think it's your birthday, but it might be your death date. A party as well. What a way to die. The B site has been taken over. Quickly traded through, but it's Copenhagen Flames to come out on top on that trade. Oscar holds his own line, but the B site has already been taken over. Bomb to be recollected from one of the players. Oscar now on that rotation, but it's a bit of a messy round, and I don't think Oscar will expect this angle. Yabby is able to take him out, and it's all down to Beastic in a 1v2.
Not sure how he carves himself out of this situation. He would have to isolate 2 duels, and I don't think they will be allowing it. Basic now has to find 2 separate duels, one to the left, one to the right, and they might just peek on forward. An orthodox angle, not expecting it, and that is the Flames putting their first round on the board. Sinner should have gotten it.
They should. But I mean, it was a good movement there from Yabby, right? I think that's where the victory came across, right? With sort of catching a few people off guard, pushing it forwards to also catch the rotations. There was some easy pickings going their way, winning out on those trades, although Sinners initially had the numbers advantage, which is why I understand you saying Sinners should have taken it, but their fight was elsewhere. They spread out too much, and when you spread out too much and you lose a front, then your whole tactic goes down the drain.
Can Sinners immediately recover? I mean, they are going for the boost and it works out. You rarely see Oscar making decisions that won't work out, so no surprises there. But Nikodos wants to equalize the numbers once more, getting aggressive with the AWP, and there's a player in playground as well, spamming through. Oscar takes the brunt of the damage, but now Roach has been left exposed. It doesn't matter, he still wants to get his hands dirty, and Nikodos will be there to supplement. They've got a player trapped behind the smoke, and a nade will be in hot pursuit like a missile. But I cannot believe Roa just survived for this long. Zedko wants to make sure that his life is expensive, and there it is. The numbers,
Zedko had his elbow in front of his eyes, but is able to get a kill nonetheless. 2v3. So not impossible for Sinners, although considering Oscar's really low, that's going to dwindle his confidence. Yabby, but Zedko to the dirt, and now Oscar. What do you do, mate? Peeking through, spotted out one, tries to avoid the bullet, but no. Nikodos squares it up nicely. In Copenhagen Flames, this is a resurgence of confidence we're seeing from them.
I mean, you did expect it to go a bit more in the way of the Flames after the first 3 rounds, but It is a nice way to start things off, and it's crazy how chaotic these rounds are, honestly. Where I previously mentioned that, yeah, okay, we're not seeing that just yet, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, 3 rounds in, no, 2 rounds in, we're not seeing just chaos yet. Okay, well, here you have it. You asked for it.
Getting it very, very early, actually.
Quite early. I guess a victory here will set the tempo of this series. Copenhagen Flames definitely want to take this one home, especially considering it's their own map pick. And Sinners, they've utterly loved Vertigo. It's like their go-to map. They can't go a series without playing it. But they need to be spicy with the Eagles if they want anything out of this. And you need to say that there's a lot on these guys' shoulders, like throughout this series. One loss in this series, they're out. It's a single elimination matchup.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
want that spot to the semis.
The quarterfinals, lots of pressure on them. Zetko doesn't quite find the timing here, but Sinners are still looking to work a pick, and it all comes down to the Desert Eagle of Zetko, doesn't it? Because everybody else, they've only got Glocks. Uh-oh, that's the information. That should be the spam. No, not yet, but for the most part, I do believe a mowdown is in order.
Oh,
The fodder making its way up water. Not even any flashbangs to work out a pick.
And the flashbangs on the B site are now extinguished. Only the ones over to A are still at play, but that won't even come down to it. Or rifles. Just line up bullets and just mow down the Czech Republic squad.
Scoreline now tied early on. Sinners not allowed to run away with anything too fast. I like how that's a tip of the hat to... Well, you did see the sign there, didn't you?
To be honest, you're talking about the Spring Sweet Spring sign?
Yeah.
The pink one? It's like, hello there.
It's a little tribute.
Little tribute. It's the Pinnacle Cup after all. Yeah, frag. Falling back Roche as well. To be honest, it took some time to realize, oh yeah, you're right. This is not the Spring Sweet Spring Cup. This is Pinnacle. Right. That makes sense. Early trades out though, and now looks like Sinners are turning their attentions toward the B site. Oh, short being gained from Copenhagen Flames as well.
Yeah, but they're not ready for it, are they? They're not ready for the monster push, and they've got 3 players about to walk onto the B site with no defense available directly on site. With 2 players in water, though, I think they can easily intercept the bomb. No smoke. Well, actually, just 1 smoke on the T side, so they can still make it very difficult. Zyphon swings out. He's managed to get 2, and that leaves all the burden of a clutch on to Neofrag. Collects the bomb, 55 seconds remaining, so he's still got plenty of time to work with.
Oh, yeah, he's just going to spray him down. That's not even fair. Neofrag couldn't do anything about that. Well, I guess he had some extra time to sort of play around with the bomb, sort of fake it, instead of going for the full commit. But no, that's the buy round of Sinners now down the drain. Copenhagen Flames are able to get themselves a lead.
I do think that Copenhagen Flames are off to a great start because the kind of initiative they're taking and taking a lot of control away from Overpass, that's lovely. To have a player in Playground to go for these early AWP duels, to take control of water, and it's been a bit unorthodox, and that's why you can see Sinners struggling to get a good read on them. In the previous round, the heavy control over short and water was simply unexpected from Sinners. Why would they leave Monster entirely open? It's anybody's guess. And it has been a 1-for-1 trade on opposite side of the maps. B-Stick adds 1 more to the tally as Hooksy is eliminated from the server. Now Nikodas looking to recuperate his losses. And Rowage, I think his flank is going to be essential.
Absolutely. Zeko can't do too much about it, although AKs in the arms of Sinners can still do quite a hefty bit of damage. Shutting down those extra players definitely is a bonus.
The problem here is that they now have no idea of where Rowage is. Even though he's rotating all the way back, now they have to attribute additional resources just to make sure that they don't get caught off guard from the back. And you can see that B-Stick is on Rowish duty to make sure that nothing of that order will come through. But now Sinners have to make a decision.
Ooh, I like this. Instead of sort of being aware of the backline, they're going to go full up ahead this position. They're going to check every single corner. Oh dear, Shock doesn't quite notice him in time. Doesn't pull out the weapon quick enough, and Neofrag does close it out in the end, but B-Stick needs to wait for this. He does. 1 for 2 now. Sinners, the B site is open. Nikodos, he's close by. The smoke will allow the crosser, will it? Nikodos, he's got the lineup. AWP at hand. Swings, no. The shot doesn't connect. Bomb plant will come underway, and B-Stick will hold down this angle. Peekaboo, goodbye. Sinners, they're back in it. They found the equalizer.
I love the attention to detail. They're even getting onto the bomb site, being aware of the idea that an AWP player can peek over and try to intercept short, just crouch walk all the way through. I like that. And Sinners have managed to scrape together a round off of a very shoddy buy. They had a deagle, they had a mixed bag of trick-or-treats. And this is where they go for a bit of a timeout for themselves. You know, just pace themselves. But in the meantime, if you want to make the pace of your payments very quick, you can go ahead and check out our partners over at Trustly, where there are no cards, no registrations, no downloads, simple and quick payments. And if you want to feed 2 birds with 1 scone, you can go ahead and use Trustly to make a payment over at pinnacle.com/odds, where they've got a really nice offer going on. If you bet 10 euros, you get 10 euros back, but you do have to use the code CUP21, and you should be a first-time user. Remember, betting is supposed to be fun, so if the fun stops, you should also stop. And terms and conditions do apply, so do go ahead and check them out.
Fraz, whenever you use the saying, feed 2 birds with 1 scone, you always make me hungry.
You want scones? It's okay. I'll get you some.
I haven't had a scone in forever. I don't know why that's a craving. It's not like it's the best food in the world. It's just a scone, but...
It's just a scone, huh?
I guess a scone needs to be a part of my life, needs to be a part of my stomach. Not even sure if they sell scones in my country right now. Okay.
Probably not.
Probably not, right? Bet I could find a place, though.
Yeah, but I think Nikodos will be doing a lot more than feeding birds. I think he will be... I think he'll revert back to the old saying of hitting them with stones.
Yeah, a little bit more brutal.
Look at
I think this is a brutal attack as well, though. Zyphon. Oh, just as the smoke dissipates. Yabi with 2, but both of them get shut down in the process. B-Stick is going to push on forwards. Looks to trample onto the site. Assistance of utility, but look at the backstab coming in from Roej. Not going to hold his trigger. He's going to completely start raining bullets onto their bodies, and now it's all down to the in-game leader, B-Stick. What do you do, mate? Nikodos. Ooh, no. Misses out on the first shot. Not quite accurate enough. Hooksy, though, is there to pick up the pieces. Copenhagen Flames, they're going to ease up ahead with a 5th.
I really like how the Flames are playing this. The amount of initiative they take, even when they've gotten the advantage, I love it. This is honestly something that I saw missing from a lot of teams. For example, if you saw Young Ninjas, oftentimes Fizzy wouldn't have the freedom to go for AWP picks, and that's largely one of the reasons why I think that they were struggling very, very often. Look at this, man. Oscar, that was a lightning-fast flick to start things off. Nikodos already out of commission, and Copenhagen Flames, they've got to adjust. They have to send Rowej over to long to give himself a bit better of an angle. Playing behind tree, Oscar wants to intercept this as well. Ooh, all they would have to do is pull the trigger.
Double it up. Can't close it once. Put 2 bullets in the man. Was barely standing. He only just needed the stone to just fall onto his ear. Don't know how that would happen, but hey. Oxy, though, he's got a strong lead ahead of him. Trying to hold down his ground because he's waiting for the reinforcements. Yabi, he's arrived, but he's been spotted. B-Stick with that AWP will hold his ground, but the nade will be the shutdown. Kobe from Yabi. It's a 2v3 endeavor, and Copenhagen Flames are challenging from behind. The bomb is not under their arms just yet. I don't think they have that information available. Although Oscar, he's going to play it slowly, inching forwards each of these corners. Smoke! The spray down doesn't work out from Zetko. Zyphon brings things back. It's a 2-on-2 endeavor. And what do Sinners do about it? They know where the 2 players are, but it's all about scouting, because easily one of them could have dropped now down to connector. It's a gamble from Sinners. Does it work out, though?
So low on HP, not even 50 points among them. But how do the Flames play this? They've got both players walking over to B, while Sinners, they're going to be feeling very comfortable here on A, settling in. With 6 seconds remaining, the bomb will now go down. Let's see if Zyphon and Yabby can get it done with barely an HP. They've brought Shock and Oscar down as well. Okay, that's a bit fairer.
Absolutely. The Copenhagen Flames have been doing so good with the nades, placing them to a perfect position. Shock, though. One shot, one kill. Anywhere on the body. That's what he's looking for. Misses out on the first. Doubles it up, but no, Yabby. The swing is perfect. Oscar. How do you play around this smoke? Enabling the defuse, but will it come through? Looking for the no-scope. Takes his time. And for that reason, Yabby will be able to capitalize. Shot right through his skull, and Copenhagen Flames take the lead in a heavy fashion. 6-4 now in their favor.
Look at the amount of impact Yabby is having. All the way on B, on the retakes, everything. And we've seen this man go nuts before. He's just cementing it further. And I think he might be the key piece in this jigsaw puzzle of beating out Sinners. They may have been the dark horses, but I think we've found the jockey for them. Let's see.
You've got to fear for Oscar. He got 2 kills at the start, giving them the numbers advantage, and now he's just holding on to a deagle. I mean, it's a full buy from his team, and he hasn't gone through the investment because you want him to have that AWP later on. Let's see if this works out. Molly out Sinners. They're going to have to make this work. They want to come back. So far in this half, swinging through. Crossfire set up from the Copenhagen Flames. Will not permit anyone to pass. So much is simply being exchanged, but Copenhagen Flames, the rotation hasn't quite come through. Zyphon works with a gap. Flash coming through. Will he swing out again? Yabby makes his presence known towards Toxic. Zyphon still raining bullets onto his opponents' bodies. Only 1 kill found throughout the process. And it's Oscar's the Eagles. No damage from the AKs. Copenhagen Flames, they'll take it. 7 now being built up.
It's crazy how chaotic that round was, and it still doesn't go the way of Sinners at all. No kills being exchanged that favor them. I think they only managed to take out Zyphon, was it? But it doesn't really matter to the CT side.
Absolutely doesn't. And the odds do reflect that Sinners are sort of losing control of the game. Even though they're still favored in the grand scheme of things, it feels like Copenhagen Flames are on hot pursuit. And I think this pressure is being indicated with this timeout. As you can see, Pinnacle, oh, I love that shot over on that wall. But they also, circumstantially, offer a really nice deal for you guys, because you can get 10 euros back from a 10 euro investment, well, a 10 euro bet in esports, and you have to use the code CUP21 upon sign up over at pinnacle.com/odds, where you'll find the latest in-play offerings for Sinners and their opponents here.
There's the wall with the graffiti.
Yeah, there it is. It's Sinners. I was wondering which player had the graffiti.
Because we didn't see it in a very long time. It just slipped my mind.
Absolutely. Back into the point, you guys can take that offer and take advantage of it. Of course, some full terms and conditions do apply, and be safe when betting. You need to be responsible, because when the fun stops, do stop. Deagle round coming through from Sinners. The scout being brought up from Oscar. But apart from that, I sort of struggle seeing them winning in any sort of occasion like this, because when it comes to buy rounds as well, Copenhagen Flames seem to have the upper hand.
Yeah, I was going to mention that Copenhagen Flames haven't been able to fully control their economy, courtesy of the fact that Sinners have kept it very close in the numbers. But this is a free round for them. This is their opportunity to build things up. This is also Sinners not really having enough in the bank to pull out some AKs. But this still can be a very competitive affair, because there are 5 sets of Kevlar and Deagles to boot. Heading on over to the A site now, 3 players on the Copenhagen Flames waiting to intercept. An early smoke to make it that much harder to move through toilets.
Youch. This is not going to be fun, but the flash is beautiful, on point, and the 2 players need to look away again. The follow-up flash, but they don't check this corner. How can you not look away? The agony. Oscar as well. I mean, at least when they lose, he still finds a kill or something. AWP, he sees it, he goes for it, but no, Roge lines up his shot. Bullseye for him. 8-4, Sinners. This is the time they need to bounce back, because the previous endeavors weren't quite fruitful.
It's the fact that they're expecting Oscar to come around from long and have the angle covered, so they're not even bothering with it. Rowage doesn't fire a single shot, no panic, nothing. Ice in his veins. And when his vision clears up, he's good enough to get kills. That was, Huh. Alright, I guess we'll take it.
Yeah,
Look
that
at
was
this.
interesting.
The Flames, they want to keep aggressing on mid, never allowing Sinners to feel comfortable. It seems like they're a shadow that is always following them. In long, in playground, up close and personal, peeking out of monster. The Flames are a demon that won't get off of their shoulders. And Sinners, every time they try to clear out an angle, they have to be pixel perfect, because you know the Flames could be anywhere.
Scary prospect for Sinners, really. Although they're able to retaliate with a kill. That's Oscar out. That's their big fragger.
Yeah, Pavlos. I was going to mention that the amount of historical information that they're building up in Sinner's head, just having free real estate in their minds, by making these aggressive plays that Sinners constantly have to watch out for in future rounds, I think that's what's slowing down their pace so significantly. Now they have to draw things out to the last few seconds. And it looks like they might be hitting the B-bomb site.
Does look like that sure will be the avenue of approach. Zyphon holding around the pillar will peek through, but the Shock is already finding his way on the backline. Beastick chimes in for one. Nikoda's able to retaliate though with a kill of his own. What a shot from Nikoda's, and Hooksy looks to double it up. It's all down to Beastick. He found himself in a position like this before, but now goes off the swing. Nikoda's is low. One bullet was required, and one bullet was the finishing deed. Swings out again. Headshot connects. Sinners, they're back in it due to the 4K of Beastick.
I mean, you mentioned that the in-game leader had to do it, and I think he's doing just that. 13-9 is his personal scoreline. Nobody else even on positive, so Beastick's pulling a lot of weight here, trying to keep Sinners competitive in map number 1, because you know that being Flames' map pick, they're not going to allow any comfort. A solid 4K as well. Look at how clean that last shot looked. You gotta love to see it.
Spicy. You love it. You love it, absolutely. And you love seeing a competitive game where teams are neck and neck, but I think this is the only sort of situation Sinners have had a breather in quite a long time. Rose, though, he's got a good road. Let's see what he can do here. Backs off of it. Shot out. Beastick delivers. Now it's Sinners with a numbers advantage. When was the last time we saw this? Oh. Zyphon, though. Shock, you'll be able to see him. But it's a matter of timing, and Zyphon had his crosshair set up nicely for it. Retaliation from Zedco. But how do they approach this now? What is their game plan? Because it looks like most of their players are dedicated on the right side of the map.
And you can see how Sinners are trembling even as they pick up the bomb. They never know if a Phantom will be behind them. But I think they can now let out Osaya for relief. They're going 4-2. Oscar makes that a little bit easier. Nikoda's the last man remaining. And I think the decision should be to save that AWP, because look at how bad the bank balances of the Flames are. They've got nothing going for them. $150 is the average, with Zyphon being the big boy in charge with 300. That is not enough to get weapons, is it?
Ooh. No, it isn't. And Nikoda's knew that the last time Oscar was spotted was over onto party, because, well, he could have been into that angle. But yes, they are. Peek out, Nikoda's. Where do you run? Where do you hide? Nowhere is the answer, as Neofrag just looks to mow him down. 8-6. It's actually becoming a very close game. And may it be even closer. 8-7 might be the scoreline, because look at the economy of Copenhagen Flames.
This is where Sinners must be thanking their lucky stars that they were able to get that initial 3-round lead off of the pistol round. Because although they haven't had the best of success in gun rounds, they still have made it a very competitive affair. Tongue-tied. It's the afternoon. I wake up very late, okay? Just roll out of bed.
Yeah, for everyone in Europe, I think we always need to make a clarifier that you're not in Europe currently. So it's not quite midday for you. Morning, if you will. Chappy, though. Got a strong lead ahead of him. They found the numbers advantage by killing off Neofrag. He went for that lurking position all by himself, but the ground gained and the information being gathered from the Copenhagen Flames is huge. Now they can reposition towards the B site, but Yabi at this point in time is all by himself, and Sinis wants to take this advantage. They need to push on forwards now, but they don't have that information themselves. Copenhagen Flames, they went for the gamble, but they're going for the full-on backstab. Lovely little boost, but will that spot anyone? I think it's too low. Smoke. Really? Oh, Zetko out of it. Roge puts that AK-47 to good use, and now Sinners might be forwarding to a Vertigo round. Shock is being challenged from 2 different directions. Hooksy, what a swing! Nothing Shock could do in that endeavor. Now it's down to 2 players.
And that's
this
the
is
audio
looking
cue.
like a
They
round
know
for
where
Copenhagen
Oscar is.
Flames.
They've got to know about this, and Roge will have backup as soon as Oscar peeks into connector, but he doesn't even need it. Gets the 1-tap, and he makes it even better. Adds 1 more to the tally, and the IGL is out of the server. 9-6 as Copenhagen Flames recover with no money in the bank.
My oh my, Sinners. I see that there's still faith in them. 9-6 is not an impossible scoreline, especially now that they're heading onto the CT side. Building that up that economy is what they'll be looking for up next, but it's not over till it's over, right? In Copenhagen Flames, we know that they can come back from reverse sweeps, but they're not really looking for a reverse sweep today, are they? This is their own map pick they have at hand right now. They want to make sure it goes their way, and drawing Deagle rounds is a way to approach that prospect.
This pissed around is going to be incredibly important, Pavlos. Yabi, he's already picked up the first frag, and as the round progresses, it becomes even easier for the Flames to perhaps get away with their own map pick. Sinners, they cannot afford to make any more mistakes, and you can see that B-Stick is getting early information, so he can spot anybody out, call in for the rotations, and now that he's spotted 2, there's got to be some kind of reaction here from the CT side.
The reaction is that Neofrag is already finding himself onto the connector side. And with a wraparound, gains himself a kill. Equal in numbers. Those Sinners want to collaborate now into the A site. Copenhagen Flames are going to push on forwards though, with the pistols at hand, smoke out, giving it some space, but soon it will dissipate, and that would be a problem for them. Zedko won't allow that to happen anytime soon though, because he just quickly closes them out before that even becomes a prospect. Roge all by himself in a 1v4 though. Shock is very low. I see 1 kill possibly going his way, but none that is facing currently. B-Stick lines it up and succeeds in finding it. It's Copenhagen Flames now. I've lost the pistol round, which means Sinis have got a clear way to find themselves a gap closer.
It's funny that Copenhagen Flames had so much control. They had all the information on long. They only had to deal with B-Stick. And they had the opening frag by Yabi just doing what he does best. That still doesn't really translate into a round victory, but let's see if Copenhagen Flames can immediately turn things around. They've got the Deagles, they've got the hand cannons, they've got the big boy guns. Neofrag could have almost had it, but the reinforcement in the form of Zetko could be very important. Now, they immediately want to put that FAMAS to good use, but the CT side won't allow it, a Molotov, to impede their progress.
I'm not quite sure if that was miscommunication or a flash at play from the Copenhagen Flames side to keep one of the players off guard, but it felt like Sinners wanted to sort of juggle the attention towards different directions so they could chunk them down and eventually kill them off over in connector. But for some reason, it felt like Zedko had to move away from that water angle and had to fall back from it. Oscar, though, with that MP9, it's just going to go to and fro from the corner. Peeks out again for a third. Zypher, nothing you could do about that. And yeah, Sinners, there you have it. That should be this round for them.
That'll be $12. I just mowed your lawn. Yep, there it is. Sorry about missing that blade of grass, but yeah, it's a job well done. And I think they're about to get one more gig.
Business,
I think they're about to get one more gig as far as lawn mowing is concerned, because there's no money on the Flame side, so this is just one more cha-ching round. Stuffing money in the cash register should be on their radar. Just a single flashbang from Hooksy will allow them to move on forward from mid, but because of the amount of choke points you have to clear out, it's simply not enough, and that early Molotov, the nade, done a fair bit of damage.
Yeah, they didn't quite initially expect them to cross on forwards like that, but hey, now they do. Now they know where every single one of these players lies. Row delivers on that end. But quickly shut down. There goes the equalizer, 9-9. I think this is a really important round though, isn't it, Wild?
If Sinners win this round, I think after the first 3 rounds of the pistol round, this would be the first time they get back on the driving seat, because so far, the Flames were looking incredibly solid. Even with winning both pistol rounds, Sinners have only gotten to the equalizer, so I think the Flames' performance is simply not getting enough credit here. They've done a stellar job so far. Let's see if they can carry that kind of momentum on forward as soon as they've got their hands on guns. Nikitas with the AWP. Now he has to fight the opposing Opera with the disadvantage. You often saw Oscar losing out on duels when he was on the T side, but it does become a bit easier to nestle yourself into a spot and get a bit of a freebie going your way, as it might be evidenced by Yabby being picked up soon if he tries to go for the peak.
Oh, Zedko lines it up into Zyphon. Oscar doesn't quite find the closer as Yabby's kneecap has been shot off. Still, since the fact that it is Counter-Strike, it will be able to run out freely like a little bunny, but apart from that, it is quite a lot of damage dealt on that end. Sinners, they've got the numbers advantage, and you could sort of see Neofrag having a resurgence in confidence here. Look where he's pushing up forwards now towards the toilet area. And now, going for the rotation, has Yabby spotted him? I don't think he has.
Oh, this is perfect.
That's a free kill.
Trigger discipline. How long will it carry you? How far can it take you?
Oh dear, they've got the information. Sprays down from a distance. There goes 2 kills. Make that 3 as he rapidly attacks on the Hooksy. And Yabby is all by himself. Wasn't quite quick enough to spot the rotation. And now, we'll pay the price. You can see all his teammates' bodies on the ground lying. He's just thinking about the gravestones he needs to set up. Can't even find a closer onto Neofrag, and Beastic will be able to retaliate. Double digits now for Sinners.
Yeah, as he climbs the escalator to heaven, his teammates are just there staring him down like, come on, man, that was your job. You had to hold down the flank. But unfortunately, it didn't really pan out the way they wanted it to. You do have to respect the trigger discipline from Neofrag, though. Didn't immediately fire things off, because he realizes that it's simply not enough to get 1 frag, because then he'll just be intercepted as well. So, no point in doing that. Had he tried to get 1 kill and back away, he would have been picked up by Yabby. But the Flames, you can see signs of desperation, waiting for the actual Flames to expire before they start moving into water. How do the Sinners hold us down?
Let's see if they can embrace the Flames properly. They haven't pushed it through it, so it does mean that proper embracement hasn't come underway, but it seems like it's going to be a simple hold down. Although Rowe is able to challenge 2 players, Edgar and Oscar are out of it, and they do have control over the site. Rotations will come through, but they need to be a little bit more careful as they're being challenged from all directions. Rowe, finding himself an AWP, will be a menace. But the bomb hasn't quite gone down yet, and when it does, that's when Beastic goes for the Pika route. Goodbye, good sir. Salute. 11-9, Sinners. They're starting to break away on their opponents' map pick. Troubling signs for the Copenhagen Flames.
Where we previously thought that largely, well, Sinners had the advantage largely because of getting both of the pistol rounds. Unfortunately, that might not be the case anymore. They're getting gun rounds, and they've been able to build up a massive economy. I mean, Shock is sitting on $11,000, so to be on the CT side, to be with the economic advantage and to break the Flames down, that is massive, but it looks like it's going to be a hard and fast push as the Flames move right in. Hooksy is able to get 1. Nikodos adds 1 more to the tally, but Shock is still alive and kicking behind the barrel. He picks up 3, and that just leaves Nikodos down in the dumps. 1v3 to try to save the game for his team.
And in light of that change of pace from the Copenhagen Flames, but it looks like Sinners were ready for it. They've been set up for it. Bomb out of control of the AWP of the Flames. But it's the flash to give the chance for Shock to peek out. I mean, Nikodos knows of that angle, but Oscar, he went for the backstab and he delivers. Although you would have loved to seen a knife fight, they know it's a risky situation. They can't afford any losses. They can't afford any more shenanigans. But they have won every single round of the second half so far. And I think the odds know that if Sinners win this map, then their chances of winning the series go up by a mile.
Especially because starting things off, this map was the question mark to begin with because they haven't really played Overpass too much. It's not like it is one of their preferred maps. At least as far as their matches in the past 3 months would suggest, but this is a very troubling circumstance for Flames. Zyphon, though, he does make it a little bit more palatable. Putting that deagle to good use, some elbow grease and a world of hurt will be all they need.
Ooh,
Oscar, though,
dear.
now he could be intercepted because he's up close and personal with an AWP. Roach wants to respond. V-Stick saves his teammate's life.
This is troublesome. They've lost 2 rifles, and now those can be picked up from the Flames. Shock pushes forwards before Hooksy can grab one out in the rotation endeavor, but this shouldn't have been this close. Only 1 rifle was at play from the Flame side, and Sinners could be in trouble here. Can they avert the crisis? I think that's the big question, because Flames, they can go wherever they may please, and Sinners, they're playing in the dark. They're lacking information. But Shock, the fact that he's pushed up so greatly here, if they go towards the B site, he'll know of it first.
Not only does he have information on Monster, but they also cannot push through the door.
Yeah, because he can just slam it close with his foot.
Just imagine having 1 foot on the door and focusing on another angle entirely. Like, nah, the door's locked, sorry. Just have a padlock on it.
But if he dies here, this could be the round for the Flames.
Oh no.
But he doesn't. He gets the kill and falls back to safety. Nikodos, what does he do? 23 seconds remaining, and all the pressure is on his shoulders. He's got an M4 at hand. Bomb goes down behind the pillar. They will move together as a unit. Still potential. Smoke out, giving him some extra space to work with. Maybe to throw down a flash. Falls back towards water. Both peek out. One goes his way without taking any damage. That is perfect. Flash out. Goes for the swing. Zevko looks away. Nikodos with a clutch. Copenhagen Flames. They're back into it.
That's massive. That is the one ticket that they have now to potentially beat out Sinners. It was nearly perfectly played by Zetko to intercept the push, to wait for his teammate. But Nikodos, he is too big brain to use the smoke as mobility, to have the utility at the ready, force out an anti-flash, and then get the kill all by his lonesome.
The bomb placement there was perfect for Nikodos.
Yeah, it's not like he went for a traditional plant.
And the fact that his opponents were out in the open, he could just play around that corner to perfection. He'd always have a favorable trade there. As long as they weren't peeking out together in a different sort of lineup, it would have been there for him. But they didn't have the timing right. It was just perfect. Beautifully done by Nikodos. Well-deserved victory, but now they're suffering a loss. 5v4 at the start of this round. And Shock might make it even worse for them. 5v3. Okay. Well, if you can't get yourselves these wins every so often, then you can't really have the chance to come back. But if Sinners are shutting you down in your tracks, then what is there left to do? Nikodos, though, brings it back to a 3-on-3. Maybe this is doable now. Shock all by himself onto the B side. He's got a big task ahead of him. He's got a player coming through from Monster, but it's Rowe to shut him down out of connector onto the B side, down to a 2-on-2 for yet another time.
Nikodos is the man that got the clutch previously, but now he's got some support as well. Let's see how this ends up working out for them. 1 in short. And I'm not sure why Sinners aren't really moving in just yet. Maybe Oscar's waiting for the early opening, and that flashbang will allow Neofrag to start moving in. Both players on the right side.
Oh no.
This is difficult, especially because Neofrag is starting to doubt himself, expecting the wraparound, the bomb halfway tick down. This is where they move right in. They've got the money to go for it, but I think Copenhagen Flames, they've got the positions. No way that Oscar commits to this anymore.
I think the audio cue was given away as well, but Flames, they were down 2 men, but still win a 3v5. This is a second time they brought them back from a deficit. Brought themselves back from a deficit. And if they're able to do it over and over again, then performing under pressure is something that is really important on stages like this. It's the quarterfinal. They cannot afford to make these mistakes. And Flames are just punishing them over and over again.
I'm not even sure how the Flames can recover that round. To have the initial frags, I feel like it's just the individuals of the Flames shining right now. Nikita's going crazy. Just a couple kills going their way here and there. That look into the camera from the Flames player, it actually caught me off guard a little bit.
Wait, is he looking at me?
Is he directly looking at me? No way. Is this a one-way mirror? What's going on here? Sorry, a two-way mirror.
Yeah, what's going on is that Copenhagen Flames are looking to get back into it. But if you guys thought you knew that this would be the case, head over to pinnacle.com/odds, where you would be seeing the latest offerings of Copenhagen Flames versus Sinners. And also by using the code CUP21 upon sign-up, you get €10 bonus upon your first bet in esports.
And I like this from Sinners. It's not like they're worried about going for any extra aggression just because they've lost out a few rounds. They haven't switched up their style of play. It doesn't seem like they're too worried. Rowage almost gets caught out, but on the landing, he will intercept. That's Beastic out of the server. He is the big man. The one big performance on the Sinners squad, who's going 23-14, and now Sinners have to hold down the line, one from short. Yabby will be able to take care of him. A smoke to protect the player in barrels as the AWP player tries to intercept. Oscar gets one. The AUG doesn't work out in his favor. Oscar's trying to find the close range angles, doesn't get the no-scope. This is where he should be caught out, but Oscar's still making it very expensive. Still alive and kicking, but Hooksy will be putting an end to the madness. Now Neofrag on the 1v2.
And when Sinners don't perform and they've got the numbers advantage, how do you expect them to perform? Then they don't even have it. When it's Copenhagen Flames that blow the first kill. Neofrag, we're expecting madness of you, and I think Sinners is as well, because they're in danger of being put into the shambles. It's made an interesting call to stick around, but he's heard it now. He knows exactly what's going on, but he's going for it. He knows. It's the final call. Keep his team in the game. Isolate the kills. Two different directions, though. Smoke out. How does he play it? Peek out. Freebie of a kill. Down to one-on-one. Flash sticks it. Walks back away. Knows where Hooksy is. Jumps above. Looks for it. Owns it! Neofrag, what a clutch. 3 kills in total, but it's a 1v2 in the end to put Sinners back on the radar.
You said it, Pavlos. How would Sinners frag, showing us nothing short of excellence?
Sinners really needed that. That would have been the equalizer for the Flames, but at least now Sinners can have their arm out. Like cartoons when you know that someone is holding a kid's head and the kid is like pulling punches and not quite reaching the other player. That's what Sinners are doing right now.
For a second there, I just didn't understand that visual for the longest time. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, yeah, now it makes sense.
Yeah. Just like punching in thin air. And Copenhagen Flames was just so close to actually doing damage with those punches. But Sinners,
that reminds me.
Push back again, and now they've got some space to work with.
Wait, Pavlos, how tall are you again?
187.
187 is like 6'1", right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, you can probably do that to me, because I'm much shorter than that. Just hold your arm out, and I'm like, no, come on, I've been lifting for years, why can't I reach you?
Wait, how tall are you?
I'm about, I think I'm a little over 5'7", probably.
Oh man, this land needs to happen soon.
This land couldn't happen any sooner.
Absolutely not. Neofrag pulls up with a kill initially. They like the CT advantage, but now they can't give away with it. Oh, leg onto Hooksy. Move your toes, mate. Because they're going to be just ripped up off your body. Oscar looks to put that AWP to good use. And I love that Sinners can just work around with his AWPs. Like, you obviously will have Oscar playing around with it, but it gets switched around from B-Stick to Neofrag time to time. They're not going to give away on their advantage this time around, and Copenhagen Flames will be greeting the economical disarray if they lose Hooksy here. Even if they don't, They won't be biting up. Absolutely not. I think they will allow Sinners to get themselves to that overtime, to that 15th mark later.
The skin on the Flame side must be crawling at the moment, because giving up Overpass, it would be a task and a half to come back from that.
Ouch.
And it's not even like winning out the second map would lead to a comfort zone. No, not at all. I mean, you have to play Ancient after that, out of all things, so it does become a troublesome affair. And I like how Zedko takes his time. He knows that Hooksy's not looking. Quickly inspect his weapon, land just one shot, that's good enough. But, man, Flames are really digging into their timeouts, huh?
They are, absolutely. And I'm not surprised. Like you said, it's their own map pick. They cannot afford to lose it. Vertigo, Sinners are a well-oiled machine on that map. And seeing that there's a 2-0 prospect, but I see their nerves, they're calm. They're not too worried. Maybe slightly worried. Okay, I'll take that back. But they're laid back to a certain part. They know they've got potential to come back here. Sinners are not a Titan that cannot fall. They've got their weaknesses. And Flames, they've exploited it quite a bit. But it seems that they're lacking this consistency. And when you lose players at the start, time and time again, just getting clutches is something that turns into a lucky endeavor rather than something you can be really consistent in.
I do think that the ties are kind of even in that regard, though, because both teams have had clutch players. You saw Nikodovs get a clutch, you saw Neofrag do it. So, I wouldn't say this game tied in particular is being changed by that, but look at that. It suddenly gotten very messy, and Oscar might have to do the heavy lifting here. Misses a close range shot. This is doable now. And maybe they can turn things around from just a Tech 9 round 2 coming in from Connector. Shock's position is revealed. The last man remaining, heading on over to the A site with an AWP.
How is this even possible? How is this even permitted? Shocks, he's going to play it slow. He doesn't even have a kit. Oh no. He doesn't have a kit. He needs to act really fast. But Hooksy
wants to intercept.
The backstab.
The big brain
this
plays.
is a 200 IQ from both ends. But Hooksy, I think he's smarter than both of them. Will UQ given out? Will Shock check it? Touches the bomb, doesn't check it. Hooksy, there you have it. It's the Deagle rounds from Flame. It's a Deagle round from Flames to get themselves a 12th. Wow, what a round.
And we see a timeout once again.
But you know what, for us, that came down to the mistakes of Sinners. There were a couple of shots that shouldn't have been missed.
Absolutely not, especially in Connector. I like how Oscar tried to reclaim whatever ground was lost. I mean, he himself has gotten to the level of B-Stick at the moment, where B-Stick has sort of started to go a bit dormant right now. But in the grand scheme of things, it didn't matter that Oscar got those 2 kills, because Shock was still able to recover it. The good thing for Sinners is that they still have the lead, they still have plenty in the pockets, and they're going to be using the Copenhagen Flames timeout to get a bit of thinking going on for themselves as well. I actually think that Sinners would have taken a timeout anyway if the Flames didn't.
Does feel like that, definitely. Deagle's out for them. They might as well try and make this work. Something that the Flames have done time and time again, and this is why they're still challenging in this endeavor, not making it an easy affair for the Czech side. B-site being taken over there, and I like dedication of power from Sinners, and I think they will as well, because if the Flames start to trickle in, they'll be able to catch them off. Nikodos, though, spots out an elbow, gets the finishing blow as well. Damage onto Shock on that long end. Tries to regress. Now, what do the Flames do? Do they stick around? Do they realize that Sinners may want to go for another piece of that pie? No, they go for a full-on wraparound. They're heading towards the A site, and Sinners, I think they're going to gain that information very quickly.
Does that information really matter, though? Because all they've got are Deagles to work with. Neofrag would have to go absolutely nuts up close and personal. The shining silver cannon in one of his hands.
Oh no, if he crosses here, he'll get spotted. Zyphon is holding down that line. He's got some patience, though, to stick around. He's just checking the upper park angle. Looks he will make his way through it. Ooh. Not quite in time. Peekaboo, headshot, bomb. They know exactly where it is. The rotations can come in. Although it's a 4v4 endeavor. Flames, they need to start considering the time because it's down to a 25-second mark. They haven't quite approached the site just yet. They need some extra time for this. Yabi does pull the shots onto Neofrag, but did they expect Shock's location? They got the headshot found. That's going to be the bomb. Dropped for a second time. Doubles that up. Pulls forwards. And now Zedko is holding down his ground onto his side. It's the Deagle rounds to go mad this game. And it's Sinner's turn to do so. Nikoros can't draw the no-scope. And Zedko will be able to retaliate. Sinners now on map points.
A quick throwback to when I said that this game wasn't chaotic enough.
And a quick throwback to saying that they only have Deagles. I don't think we can underestimate these guns anymore, man.
I think only Deagles is a massive understatement at this point. I mean, they might as well be rifles.
Boost out, must be perfect. Oh no, misses out on the first shot. There you have it. For this boost to work out, it needs to be well-timed and well-accurate. Nikoros isn't going to have another chance. He has to draw back from this.
Yeah, they're not going to allow it at all. In fact, I think he could have even gotten the collateral there for a second, but simply not quick enough on the trigger or the boost. They've got 3 guns. This is their last chance to stay competitive. This series might be slipping out of their hands as they end up losing out on their own map pick. Sinners, they want to stop it right here and right now. A 3-man triple up onto B. 1 player playing up close on long, 1 on the spotting. Quick jump boost to make sure that nobody can aggress on toilets. But I think the Flames are starting to telegraph what they're doing as they throw a bit of utility on B.
Does seem like that's the case. Good dedication from Sinners here, but Yabi's able to get themselves the first kill. B-Stick does trade it through and now falls back to receive the push from Monster, although it doesn't quite come through yet. It's a slow contact approach. Do they expect it? 2 players that have to deal with it. A lovely flash. They're laying it even further. Beastic goes for the push onto Toxic. Not quite spotted out. Shock holds down the angle. Information given away. Now Beastic holds his ground. Doesn't show his card. Only finds 1 kill in the process. So still, Copenhagen Flames have found themselves onto the site. Oscar able to find himself a shot from Connector and Neofrag from above. There you have it. Sinners take home their opponents' map pick. Going 1-0 in the quarterfinals. Seeing you right after the break because this is really getting exciting.
Welcome back, everybody, to the quarterfinals of Pinnacle Cup II, where you just saw Sinners win out on the Flames map pick. Can they turn it right around? We're about to find out. It is I, Waldady, joined by none other than the footballer and model Pavlos, better known as X-Warrior, and I guess we're going to be moving right into the meat and potatoes of this.
Absolutely, Ro. He's challenged completely here. Sinners go for the mid approach, but it's a 1-for-1 trade to start things off. Neofrag looking to push through, but Roy able to shut him down quickly enough, making that a 2-piece for him as he still lines things up nicely. Oscar gets shut down. There you have it. Roy continues to reign supreme. Nikoros charming in bullets as well. Zetko wants to put a stop to that affair. We'll look to rotate back up to maybe collect Nikodos. He's expecting someone will be holding down that angle, but it's a matter of timing if he's able to deal with it. Still, he's got the bomb at hand, so still within the realms of possibility, although chances are slim. He's going to give it his best go. Copenhagen Flames on hot pursuit. Shift walking through the map, but Zetko hides away. Has he bamboozled them? I think he may have. If he gets 1 kill onto Yabi, that could be his avenue to the B site. And never mind.
At least they start things off strong. The Flames, of course, having lost out their own map pick, things are looking troublesome. But keep in mind that Sinners won out both of the pistol rounds on the first map, so they did have that going for them.
Absolutely, man. That round, I believed for us. I really did believe. And I was like, if he gets this one kill, the site is open, then it goes into a 1v2 and the pressure
you're
is on.
just doing a bunch of calculations like, okay, yeah, he gets this one kill, he goes onto the bomb site, finds the 1v2, and then he just dies.
So, like, it's a multi-step plan, right? And you say, oh, maybe he's got this, but fails on step 1. So then you're like, never mind. Well, c'est la vie. But whatever. Yeah, it happens to everyone. But if you guys think you have an understanding of how this series will end up or are good with predictions, Pinnacle is the place to go because they also have an offer going on right now. Heading over to pinnacle.com/odds where you have the latest in-play offerings of Sinners versus the Flames. You also can use the code CUP21 upon your first sign-up to get 10 euros in return upon your first esports bet of 10 euros. It's an offer you might as well take advantage of. But remember that betting should be done in a safe environment. And you have to be responsible, really. Don't bet what you can't afford. And make sure that when the fun stops, do stop yourself.
Yeah, I think judging by the way this camera looks right now, I think we know who's timed out.
Ooh.
Yeah, quickly switch that over.
Yeah. It's an unfortunate angle to have your camera shut off. So yeah, not
I really like the background, the little two figurines of the cats. Okay, yeah, I want to read this out.
Well.
Hold on. Always be yourself. Oh no, okay. Oh no, it wasn't.
They know they're looking at the camera.
Oh god, it's always so hard to read. I think it was like always be a first-rate version of yourself. I think.
I didn't see it. Although I want to like judge the Flames' rooms, I think they've got some beautiful ones. Sinners, we saw the graffiti wall earlier, but I really like the
check.
We talked about the check before in one of the other casts, but there's one room, the one with the figurines that you were talking about, where the guitar was on the wall. Everything was so very tidy on those.
We need to make an analysis of how clean the players' rooms are, and
in contrast with how they're performing in game.
Exactly. Not just performance, like how cleanly they play it, how methodically they approach the game. Maybe that's like a little, well, $1 more million idea right here on the stream. Like, come on, you can't make this up.
Yeah, you absolutely can't. So imagine a player is tidy, he's got his room set up. Some would say he's got tendencies of OCD. And maybe that reflects into the game as well, like checking every angle, making sure the lineups look clean, make sure that every push is methodical and has a reason. Isn't too flamboyant with their plays. Does that reflect, do you think? Do you genuinely think that could actually be translated from in real life to in the server?
Pavlos, this is where we go quiet because you know what?
I think Zyphon just connected. I think we saw him move about. There he is. Yeah, he's back.
We've got the camera rolling now, so it's all good. I like how we always really delve into the rooms, you know?
Yeah, I saw a Stormtrooper helmet on top.
The one with the guitar and the two cat figurines is probably my favorite one of the day. Graffiti wall's a close second. But yeah, absolutely. I think at this point we might be feeding into the players, and maybe they'll be putting on a better show, an even better show as far as the rooms are concerned. You know, like imagine if players start decorating their rooms right before a game because they're like, yeah, okay, no, we're gonna be super judged for this.
Yeah, imagine they like go into a cleaning spree. Okay, we're gonna be on camera. Let's not show everyone that we're messy beings. Although Copenhagen Flames with a pistol round going their way, they'll be happy with the buy-up. Sinners, they've got just pistols to work around with, not a single piece of utility being brought up for them. I don't blame them.
Hold on, Pavlos. I mean, this is a throwaway round, so let me dig into this.
All right, I'm going to let you do that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this one time, I mean, when I was a relatively new caster, especially like in European tournaments, I thought my camera would be zoomed in, and I wasn't informed that it would be like 16:9 full screen. And I had the strategy to like remove the popping noises from my microphone. I would just put a sock over it. And I used to sit next to a microwave. So
no.
But I would take it. I would quickly take it off in the camera segment, and then one time the camera just came on, and I just have this sock casually sitting on top of a microwave, and people are like, "Question mark? Like, what's going on here? Like, are you cooking a sock or?"
Oh, okay. Sock eater.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what sort of way. I don't know, man. I was going to think about what insult a sock eater could be, as in, you know, just doesn't shut up,
man,
and you need to eat a sock to shut up or something. I don't know, maybe. Something like that. For a caster, I guess it sort of works out for you, but it's going to be an easy endeavor when it comes to Copenhagen Flames. Just as you said, a throwaway, and the Flames come out on top.
Yeah, I think this is where we really delve into the game. They've got guns, Sinners. Maybe they want to replicate what they did on Overpass. Give it to Copenhagen Flames where it hurts. But the Flames aren't going to allow that too comfortably. The weaponry, I would say, is heavily favored to the center side because you do have a FAMAS and an MP9 on Hoopsie, but the additional utility that they've got, that'll be significantly helpful. Look at this, though. Rowage has been caught with his pants down. Zeko and Rowage being the one casualty apiece on either side. Shock taking a fair bit of damage off of the nade. A Molotov to try to deter their progress, but I don't think Sinners really care about that because they've already started to make their way to the B bomb site. Do the Flames react in time? They've got the numbers. And with the Yabby playing around mid, I think the rotations can be quick. Will they be soon enough? As nobody's directly defending the B site.
I mean, the utility will give away that Q, right? They'll know soon enough. Smoke's coming through. They know they have to contest it. Although they push towards ramp to get that extra information, they peek through, but Yabby's all by himself into the smoke. Spotted out Oscar. He's a toe spotter. And he just depletes Yabby's life.
What kind of... is that some kind of...
Is that sort of a profession? I don't know. Maybe if it is, Oscar definitely has had experience with it.
Yes,
he's an exquisite
is a
toe
10 out of 10
spotter.
toe. Yeah, the Flames just want to get away with guns here. They've got utility on Zyphon. They can carry it on to the next round, and I think they'll be completely stacked because they've got Yabby and Rowage with the money. Everybody's got the money to buy up. Of course, it was a bit of a bonus round for them, but I like how Sinners can change the pace around on their own mapping as soon as they get that first opportunity. It was a one-for-one trade, but the Flames' gamble towards the A bomb site simply didn't pay off. By the way, I really like how Yabby just immediately knows the protocol. He's like, yeah, okay, just push into the smoke. Whatever, there's nothing else I can do. Push into the smoke. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And it didn't.
Yeah, he couldn't do too much about it, right? He either wanted to go full aggressive to get himself some extra kills and make, basically just find damage onto their opponent and onto his opponent's lineup, making the retake slightly easier. But it was a little bit out of place, therefore, I guess he could have fallen back to allow them to retake that angle, but there was a lot of utility at play. Quick picks coming through from the Flame side. Yabby and Hooksy both put damage onto their opponents' lineups, and now they're playing on a two-man's advantage. Shot quickly to put it back within the realms of reach. And I wonder how it's further approached from Sinners, because they've taken this B site before with heavy utility, but now they've got less players to tell for it, and now there's a two-man stack up for the Flames on this side of the map. Zyphon will spot him out first. Shock peeks through, completely crushes Zyphon. Yabby tramples on Shock, but Zeko is able to trounce back. 2-on-2 onto the site. There goes. Still doable for the Flames, but Sinners get themselves on site in a beautiful fashion.
Look at this, though. The flank is coming in. Do they intercept Hooksy in time? Not quite anticipating it, but Zetko had the lineup. I didn't even notice that. Was that a quick flick onto him? Because I think he was turning as he did it. I would love to see the replay on that.
I think he was holding the angle, to be honest.
I think I saw the barrel turn there at the end. That's why I got a bit confused. I'm like, okay, that's an interesting shot. But regardless, Sinners, they push on forward. They pull themselves ahead. And I say pull themselves ahead because, well, the Flames don't really have much to contest with, right?
Yeah,
they've got a Deagle, they've got a Flashbang, they've, yeah, that should be about it. Save for maybe the P250.
Good early utility, not even lining up any smokes throughout the process. Flames, they go for a gamble play and it might work out. Zedko bumping heads with his opponents. Ooh, dear. Look below. Roy still alive, still doing damage, but not getting kills necessary to keep them in the game, to do any extra damage onto their opponent's lineups. Nade, ouchie. Hooksy receives it right on his buttocks, and that's gonna hurt. It's bruised all over, but still able to stand not for long as bullets are being thrown in through the metal wall. Oscar lines it up onto Zyphon and Sinners. They get themselves a lead. Ooh, the odds. Quite lining up in favor of the Sinners, aren't they?
Absolutely. I think Sinners are heavily favored to take this game, but I'm not counting the Flames out of it at all, because their performance, although it can be inconsistent, those fluctuations can also be on a high end. Okay, maybe they gave away the first map. That's whatever. Sinners had both of the pistol rounds and they made it work, but that actually caught me very off guard. I mean, that was a bit sloppy the way Sinners approached it, but I think that was meant to serve as a distraction. While the real cavalry is about to move in now, 2 defenders, 4 offenders. Let's see how this is going to work out.
Smoke out from Roy, given some extra space, but gets caught up empty-handed. B-Stick balling through. Hooksy does trade it out, but Zetko comes out victorious. 3-on-3, and the A side is being taken over. Nicardo's looking for the wide swing, but Oscar is there to retrieve him. Zyphon, what does he do? He sees his opponents ripped into the mud, and Zyphon will put Oscar in his place as well. Down to a 2-2. This is still anyone's game.
Yeah, Copenhagen Flames, they refuse to bend the knee. They've still gotten the first kill, and that allows it to be a palatable retake. A Molotov to clear out sandbags, early smoke. They're going to have to deal with Shock, and they'll double peek into him. It doesn't matter, though, because he's picked up one in the process. Yabby desperately looking for the angle, and he gets it through the smoke. Zetko has nothing to say about it. Silent.
Wow, okay. A very close endeavor where you thought Sinners had the upper hand, but the bounce back from Flames was flamboyant. 3-on-3. Looks like no one's going anywhere just yet. I like to call Vertigo the momentum map, but it seems none of the teams have been able to build that up yet. You know, when it's built up, they can go for a mile and not stop. But the fact the Flames are able to bounce back that quickly puts them well in a position where they can pull up ahead.
I think the first map was a big question mark for Sinners, but it didn't look like that. We already knew heading into the pregame that Sinners versus Copenhagen Flames on Vertigo, that would be a massive toss-up. And is proving to be just that. However, if Sinners take away this round, I think the Flames' economy won't really have much to show for itself. The majority of the offense heading on over to the B bomb site. The bomb still not being collected, so they're feeling a bit indecisive about what they want to approach, what avenue they want to take. Shock trying to single-handedly clear out mid, get some early info, while the Flames themselves, they haven't gotten much information either. Look at this. Huddling in. Getting the push ready. I don't think he knows that he's tagged up Zetko, but this is where the utility starts rolling in.
Yabby peeking out. Deals with Zetko. B-Stick draws back from it, though. Yabby has to go for the swing. Sinners, they're challenged here. Down in numbers, but Nicodos is able to draw him back now into the advantageous position. Hooksy as well chimes in, but Shock is magnificent with his kills. 3 go his way in a matter of seconds. And Nicodos, he's in a clutch position for yet another time. Spots out a player, but not in time. Oscar deals with him, anticipating that position. And Sinners, they inch ahead once again.
You say inch ahead, but I think they get to run ahead for a little bit, because the money on the Flames side is, well, it's nothing to be proud of at the moment. With about $2,000 average, with the exception of Nikodos and a 2,400 loss bonus that will be deposited into their account next round, it still leads to a very shoddy buy. It's still only M4s. This has got to be a throwaway round, and then they still don't have any of the big rifles. If they want to offer utility, of course. And on the other hand, you can see Sinners starting to build a bit of a bank, I suppose. Oscar with the 4,500. Dear God, I was about to say 45,000. Imagine the economy. If you could build it up to 45,000, that would be nuts.
I definitely would be. Flames, though, looking for some extra damage here, but apart from the one kill onto B-Stick, the rest of them can still reign supreme without their leader, Roy. So, you need to come up with madness here. I think he's looking for a kill, maybe rip a head off with a tiny bullet of a USP. They know where he is. He just goes for the swing every single time, but they're going to get multiple angles on this man. I think he connected the dink onto Oscar, didn't he? But it's not going to be enough any time of the day. And as you said, well, Daddy, as anticipated, it's a 5-round situation for Sinners currently.
This is still an incredibly important round for the Flames. While Sinners might start to run away with it a little bit, the Flames have the pressure of making sure that they can have some money in their banks. They haven't gotten a chance to build it up at all. And at least Rowage will make it a bit easier to digest. Oscar wants to equalize the numbers. The flick isn't quick enough, and Zyphon will be taken off the server. No longer allowed to have a say in this matter.
For us, I think the flick was quick enough, but it wasn't quite accurate enough. I think that was the issue.
I think it was too quick.
Just caught him off guard. It was too quick. But still, numbers having an equalize and Shock makes his presence known. It's the second round in a row where Shocks has quite flamboyant performance. Maybe not second round in a row, as the previous one was a throwaway from Copenhagen Flames, but the one before that was still an excellent display of skill from this man. And Hooksy now, he's in a troubling situation. His backpack has been spotted by Oscar and will send his opponent backing home again. Sinners 6-3, double the amount of rounds Copenhagen Flames have accumulated so far.
Yeah, you say double the rounds, but I think they can still add another one to the tallies. Sinners seem to be running away with it on the terrorist side. And I know that Vertigo can be very difficult to defend if you're on the CT side, but we don't really see a lot of the hallmark plays that you're supposed to expect on Vertigo. For the Flames to wait for retakes, have the utility lined up on the bomb site, things like that. The little details, we haven't really seen that. And the lack of utility damage from the Flame side is, I think, one of the big reasons that Sinners are able to take these fair aim duels and come out on top.
You mentioned that for us, and I think I noticed something quite similar, because Vertigo, more often than not, is a ramp simulator, isn't it? It's just teams tackling the ramp side, trying to allure them into that position, maybe go for the full commit, or even rotate towards the B site later on. But so far, Sinners have been challenging towards that B site early on in the game, quite substantially as well, and they come out in victorious fares multiple times. But now it looks like they want to just move into this A site, nestle themselves into these positions, and try and catch their opponents off guard. But the lineup from Flames will be good enough for a kill, but not quite sure if it'll be good enough for anything more than that. Beastic is able to get 3 kills added up to his own tally, and Zyphon and Yabi are on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I think any option of voicing concerns has been taken away. Yeah, this is surely a done deal, signed and notarized, packaged, sent. And now, you see Sinners getting to that half advantage mark. I think this is a little bit too close for comfort for the Flames. Not even close, actually. There is no comfort involved if you look at the Flames. They are focused. They are starting to feel a bit worried. Even the cats in the background are feeling concerned for the longevity of Copenhagen Flames in this game.
Flash out from Shock.
I
think we've got the same idea here, that Sinners always use that utility to inch forwards to get that initial advantage, but I think Flames are anticipating a push such as this on this angle. But Shock, he's just ready for it. The patience isn't quite there for Hooksy, although they still come out equal when it comes to those trades. Yabi, though, hello, Sandbag's angle. It's check by Zedko, but not quite good enough. Looks to jump up on top, but Beastick is there to shoot him down. Still an equal affair. The smokes towards the B site will sign such movement. The rotation will come in, but Zyphon in the backstab comes out on top. Sinners, they're down in numbers. How do they retaliate? How do they bring things back to a more affordable standpoint for them? Because Nikodos, he's got the lineup towards his B site.
Is this the Flames' opportunity to bring it right back? I would certainly hope so if we want to see a map number 3. And it doesn't really seem like we've seen very close series recently, have we, Pavlos?
At least on our cast, no, I don't believe that has been the case.
I think the past 3 games we casted, they've been pretty quick 2-0 affairs, and you know what? I'm starting to miss that 3-map affair.
Actually, a 3-mapper, I guess overtimes have. We've casted a bunch of overtimes, like a map with 5 OTs, but as you said, yeah, no, not many triple mappers, haven't we? We haven't had too much of that.
Mm-hmm.
Shutdown from Sinners, of course. I guess giving some breathing space for the Copenhagen Flame side, but I think the idea of the theme hasn't changed at all. Sinners still are the team favourite to close out this series with that 1-0 in the bag on their opponent's map pick.
Wait,
and
sorry,
now being
Pavlos?
in the lead.
I just noticed Neofrag is on 0 kills right now, and Sinners are still ahead.
What? Is that really the case?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. He's going 0-1 and 9, and I think he might have not gotten a kill at all. Early utility from the Flames.
I guess he sets up his team for success, which is all that matters at the end of the day, right? So, but it's a bit unusual this late into the game to not really have a kill.
Yeah.
But hey, I love the movement from the Flames, though. Look at how close they are in the situation. Beastic won't be able to read through that. Neofrag is able to get himself 2. He's heard you, man, and he's already found himself a couple. Quick trades out, still a 2-2 in the Endeavor, but the flash out will delay the onslaught. Oscar still sticking around to that ramp position, but the bomb is making its way to the B bomb site. Will it be quick enough, though?
Yeah, and the rotations can still be pretty long on Vertigo if you're not ready for them, if you don't have anybody committed on mid. And they're making sure that 2 of the players have been kept at bay as the bomb starts to go down. Oscar entrusted with the responsibility of holding down the bomb all to his lonesome as his teammate causes a ruckus on the opposite side of the map. Oscar, he's got one in his crosshairs. That's one. Just needs to find another before the reinforcements will arrive. Nikodos, he's got the second, and he's got the angle. Sinners pull right ahead after messing up 1 round.
I mean, those were simple pickings from Oscar when it comes to it, but every single time this guy is on Vertigo, he's always going to be a highlight reel, right? There's always going to be a highlight reel made after this man, because he feels alive when it comes to Vertigo. I did love Neofrag, though, pushing through there. He heard you when you said, he has 0 kills so far this game. Well, there you have it. In 1 round, he gets 2. So it's a lot better for him. But the Flames, they've completely ran out of economical funding, and for that reason, they need to be a little bit careful. Obviously, there is some money they can buy up mid. Maybe they get a small buy in the making, but other than that, Sinners, they look pretty decent. Oscar, pretty chill. He's pleased with his own clutch earlier. Didn't seem to be too challenging. Quite a standard play in Oscar's handbook. They look comfortable. But I know that they cannot get too comfortable, because Flames, when mistakes are at play, they're usually the ones to bounce back.
They've got Deagles, they've got the silver hand cannons. But will they be enough to keep them in this game? Now, keep in mind that Sinners, they're almost guaranteed to get 9 rounds. This is too much comfort, isn't it, Pavlos? I mean, you're on the T side, you've dropped... Sorry, you're on the CT side, you've dropped the opponent's map pick, or dropped your own map pick. This is a disaster if you're on the Flame squad. If you're a fan of the Flames, I think this is getting very worrisome. And you can see exactly why the odds have been favoring Sinners so much so far. The amount of performances that the likes of Oscar have been able to put up, the way that Beastick is able to chime in, even as the IGL, purely in terms of frags as well. Look at this. This is an opportunity. This is an opening. Rowage. That's a shot at an AK, but the 3 members that remain on the B site for Sinners. Let's see if they can get through the powerhouse. That is Yabby.
Shark delivers 3-on-3. Deal shots coming through from Zyphon, but none of them connecting. Yabby needs to hold down his ground, but not going to be able to do so. Zyphon on the backside. Oh, in a matter of seconds. I missed those kills, but still, the Flames, somehow they're able to retaliate. They're still in this game.
Not sure how they struggle so much on the weapons, and then the Eagles suddenly, you know what? Good enough. We'll get it done. This is our map.
It's on Overpass as well, though, right?
Yeah, we had too many Deagle upset rounds, honestly. I mean, we were talking about it not being chaotic, and then it just became a total mess. But I like this. I like this back and forth game. And this is where it also gets very troublesome for Sinners, because they've invested so heavily into this round that not winning it out would mean that they have an economic collapse in the next one, in the last round of the first half.
Beautifully done, though. Trades straight out of the bat. So often that Sinners always find themselves advantage. Neofrag, he's rejuvenated after those 2 kills that earlier round. He's back into it. Puts his shoes, his carry shoes on. Well, Yabby. Not much health remaining. 1 tap, 1 kill isn't a prospect for the M4, as Neofrag does have that helmet. For that reason, he will stay alive and will be able to get himself a 3rd that round. 9 rounds onto Sinners on the T side. It's looking scary.
And to turn things around at in the very last vestiges of the half, it's scary. You said it just right, because the Flames now, they've got a measly MP9, a couple hand cannons, they've got two very different M4s, and Sinners will be moving right onto the B bomb side. They've got him the entry frag. That just leaves 1. I think it's Zyphon that has the Deagle there. But at least Hooksy's kept the numbers close. Neofrag does the expected. Oscar gets the no-scope on Rowage. You're not allowed to get away with your smoke shenanigans while Oscar is on the case. But look at how low the HP on the retreating terrorist members is. Neofrag and Oscar up on about 12 HP total. They are within 1-shot range of that Desert Eagle, and I think Beastick is flirting with that category as well. Zetko's the only fully healthy member remaining, so I don't think it's as far as I anticipated it. Oscar still gets to safety, despite the fact that he's quite low on HP. Still watching the smoke.
Ooh, he connects the shots, but Nicardo stays alive as it was a leg. Picks up the AWP as well, and the Molly would be Zetko's downfall. B-stick, peekaboo. Trigger discipline. Sprays down. Oh, B-stick misses out on the shot, but Neofrag is insane. 4 points of health, and it's down to 1-1. His opponent on the other side of the map, but he rotates instead.
He's going all the way back, heading on over to A. The audio queue must have been given up now, and there's no way that Nikodas makes a mistake here. The information, the audio, it's perfect, but can Nikodas land the shot? Moving right on over, does he anticipate it? Taps the bomb, no. Nikodas comes around the corner. That's the quick scope, and that is it. Neofrag, valiant effort, but Sinners, they do not get to double digits.
Oh man, you've got to feel for Neofrag, because as soon as you said something about him having 0 kills, he instantly, in a matter of 2 or 3 rounds, has himself on 8. So that is a marvelous performance in him at the latter stages of this half, but it is the Flames to sort of bring themselves back by inching forwards. Round by round, they are straightening them out from Sinners, but look at that transfer. Insane stuff. And unfortunately for him, he didn't quite have the read on the final remaining player, so he wanted to go for the bamboozle technique and head over to the other side of the map, but no. If he stuck to his guns on that side, maybe we had a better chance to clutch that round in his favor, but that doesn't quite come ahead. Pissed around through as they do switch sides. Of course, since on the CT side, as things have switched over. Neofrag holding things out as well. Flames.
This is a pivotal pistol round, isn't it, Pavlos? Ooh,
absolutely.
Lots of P's in there. Didn't expect the alliterations, but I'll take them. You can see that their entire pace of play is very slow. Allowing the Flames to make the first call, make the first mistake. You can see that they have 3 players watching ramp like hawks. As I've mentioned before, this round is of the essence. If Sinners are allowed to get to double digits when they've already picked up the first map, this is troublesome. It is scary. And if you're a Flames fan, you want this round to go their way. But in the meantime, the bomb will be rotating over.
Still sticking to the guns on this ramp side. On Sinners may have the good read out on that is Endeavor. 1-for-1 trade. Oscar does look to put some bullets into the back of Hooksy. He does just that. Zedko, can he hold down his ground? No, he cannot. Nikodo's such a massive damage dealer on the Copenhagen Flames side, but no. Equal in numbers. Nikodos flips around, does a curtsy, does a whole barrel roll, but still runs away with 2 kills at the end of that round.
What was that from Nikodos? I cannot believe that the Sinners dropped kills in that instance. Both players being caught out, but still winning out their duels. That should have been around for Sinners, for sure. This could be the one round that leads us into map number 3. Otherwise, I think it was already over. Now, Sinners have to play off of the economic deficit. They've got Deagle, so I'm not counting them out just yet, but this is the Flames' opportunity. This is a ticket. It has been booked. But can they get on the plane? A quick boost comes out from Sinners to try to get a vantage point. Maybe spot someone in scaffolding, but that's not a privilege that will be afforded anytime soon. The rest of the Flames players trying to be a bit of a menace, have some control on ramp, have one player on the B bomb site. And I think this is where the boost might just work out. Oh no.
Oh dear. Audio cue. I guess as expected that a player would be playing on that angle, but now they given away that a boost might be at play near. Frag does deliver though, takes a lot of damage towards his ground. Roj with a swing delivers.
Ooh.
Equal in numbers, nade near frag instead of pushing back. Goes back in to avoid it. B-stick out, delivers again simultaneously with Zedko's flash. Can they still hold their ground? They've traded equally so far, with lesser weapons, so still a valiant endeavor for them. Rory, look at that movement, finding alternative angle, looking to delete them off the server, but talking about deletion, B-Stick presses Alt 4 and his opponent says PC. He's out of the server already, 2 on 2. It's a standoff. Shark wants to go aggressive, denied of that prospect by Zyphon, looking for that headshot. B-Stick unable to do too much against 2. And it's Copenhagen Flames, albeit they're being quite damaged, they still run away with that victory.
And this is where Copenhagen Flames breathe out a sigh of relief. Okay, we've gotten the equalizer. As long as nothing goes their way, as long as we don't succumb to the Deagles without any armor, we can still bring it all the way back. If you're going to go for a comeback, the T side is where it's at. The money can be in your favor. You can start building up some momentum. And maybe they can still shut Sinners down. Maybe we get to see the prospect of a spicy Ancient. But with how Sinners have only lost 3 maps in their past 18 games, I wouldn't count them out of this just yet. They're definitely contenders to be the winner of this whole thing. Now, the Flames finally do want to start making a move, heading up ramp. Maybe this head is spotted. Roja has been. Oscar doesn't quite connect.
Absolutely not, but they have a good read. Dedicating 3 players in this position. Deliver on one end, but 2 of them fall on the other. So it's a tough little cookie. Copenhagen Flames, they won't be falling that easily. Nikodos does show his dominance onto his opponent as he stands over him in command. Zedko. That's a Mac 10 he can recover. I'm sure he would have loved that to have been an AK, but I don't think his opponent would be in that position if he was holding an AK. You know, it's one of those risk-free weapons that you can roam through the map with and not really worry about, knowing that you have that advantage. He's still going for it. Knows it's a long-distance endeavor, therefore holding out the Deagle. Ooh, not quite ripe on the timing with Rory there.
Yeah, he just wants to maybe pick up a frag there at the end. I think he's anticipating that they will save in the corner, and he's got just the right read. Ooh. And I love how they themselves are being very proactive in taking care of it.
Yeah, and he went for that pre-fire angle as well, but, you know, they were crouched down, so good read there from the Flames.
Okay, now we see the odds being nudged a little more in the favor of the Flame side. Still not perfect, not by any means. But this is the true tried and test. This is the examination hall being entered by the Flames, the Sinners, the Examiner. Oscar, once he's on that AWP, there is no telling what'll happen on the server end. With the initial damage on row edge, this is already becoming a bit... Well, it's turning into a fickle affair for the Flame side. This off angle has gotta catch somebody off, right?
It's gotta. But it won't. Zedko, the nade. The nades, plural. He's all by himself, Shock. I mean, Oscar, he's turning his attention now towards the B site. Hasn't been challenged towards that mid area for now.
If only B-Stick was here, then he could use a Molotov to deter their progress, but I think the
Talk
push is about to ensue.
Though. Flames use their own flame to move across, flash out, can't quite spot out their opponents. Shock hiding through, but Zyphon just line bullets through a gap on the smoke, and Flames dominantly take over the site, not giving their opponents an inch. And Sinners, they know this. They know that they can't really challenge this. Know that right now, Flames, you have to leave them alone. Let them cool off because their blood is boiling. They're looking for that round advantage, and it looks like after the bomb explodes, they will get just that.
Good recognition from Sinners early on to know that there's no chance at all. Oscar simply backs off, wants to carry that AWP into the next round, so that is a very respectable decision to make. But, Havlos, I think we might be heading into double digits and the first time lead for the Flames. Wait, no, actually,
the first time ever since they got the pistol.
Yeah, after the initial 2 rounds, yeah, Sinners have just been on a roll, constantly being able to beat out the Flames, but the D side, it is all orange. You can see that the Flames, they are winning it pretty decisively at the moment. This is the Sinners map pick, though.
Sinners can feel the pressure. Absolutely. I'm sure they want to relieve some of that pressure. And if you guys want to relieve some of your pressure when it comes to making transactions from account to account online, Trustly is pretty much the place to go. Risk-free and very swift, actually, very quick. Trustly is a place to go when it comes to these online transactions. And you could also make payments with Trustly over at Pinnacle. So you might as well feed 2 birds with 1 scone, as well Daily does
finally
say. And yeah, at the same time, you might as well use the code CUP21 upon sign up over in Pinnacle, where you can get €10 in return after a €10 bet in esports. Of course, remember that betting should be done in a fun and safe environment, so only bet what you can afford. But there's an interesting statistics being brought out here, and it looks like the Copenhagen Flames seem to be getting on site and getting the bombs down. All the retakes look a lot greater for them, as they've gotten a lot of defusing. So Sinners holds looking slightly weaker when it comes to those post-blind situations.
But I think this is one of the few times they've gotten the advantage on the CT side. It's only been 4 rounds in the second half, though, so I want to see what Sinners can come up with. Still going for a bit more of a proactive play, even when they have the advantage, but now that Zetko's gotten a kill on the other side of the bomb, or the other side of the map, Neofrag doesn't really need to aggress. Still using the smoke as a curtain, a bit of a one-way, have a vantage point to kill off anybody that tries to push in a ramp early on. I like how dominant Sinners have been early on, but maybe the Flames can still have some individual prowess coming their way. The AWP in the hands of Oscar will make sure that nobody aggresses on mid. A 2-1-2 setup from the Sinners squad.
Sinners, this is a really strong setup they've got going on, and a good read stacking up so many players towards the A site, but I love that Flames are still going for it. They've got the economy to account for it, so they might as well go for the risk. Neofrag shuts one down, quickly traded out by Neofrag. That could be a second kill going towards Zyphon. Roy, okay, within the realms of possibility, well within them. Roy puts himself on top of that box and puts himself on top of his opponents. How about that? That is insane. Flames from a 3v5 to a 2-player left situation for Flames, getting themselves around victory as well.
Sinners started to get comfortable in their gaming chairs, just lean back a little bit. They're like, you know what? We got this. No way we dropped the ball here. And by the way, it's not even like it was a 3v5 entirely. No, it was a 2v5 to start things off because Sinners were the ones who got the first laugh. But I think the Flame side is the ones who were left grinning there at the end. A 2-round deficit now, but Sinners can still afford to buy up. AWP for Oscar. And they have to play this a lot more aggressively with their limited utility. Maybe they'll have to flash and push through. With this piece of utility, Zetko wants to get the advantage. Neofrag might have won his end of the trade, but the other side hasn't been that successful.
Hey, so this time around, Sinners, they're the ones with a disadvantage when it comes to health. Flames coming out victorious when it comes to that scenario. Oh, this is wonderful stuff from Flames, man. I'm telling you, this is a resurgence in performance. And Beastic is the only man sort of holding off this angle. So as soon as he spots them, we'll throw down a smoke and fall back, call for reinforcements. But none will arrive. Goes for the sandbags angle. If he gets eliminated, a molly to be dropped into this angle. He's pretty much a dead man. He'll have to draw back into the open. Do they check this? They do. Swings out, 1 for 1. Copenhagen Flames, they're going to start inching forwards, and Sinners, they're nowhere to be found.
They've only got one nade to potentially deny the bomb, and the HP simply isn't low enough to make it work. The AWP shot's connected, but the nade does not. That makes it a lot harder, and now Shock is moving in on the flank, and they'll be expecting it. Sinners, can they still keep it competitive? They're starting to lose a lot of their grip on this game, and some would say they might already have. The first shot, though, it goes the way of Shock. Now, within the realms of possibility, as it's a 3 versus 2, Nikodas makes it more competitive. Oscar, he's the last man remaining, gets the headshot as he gets up on top of the box, wants to tap the bomb, wants to bait Hooksy out. Hooksy doesn't expect it. Oh no, he doesn't peek out at all. Oscar, even with the kit, can he get it done, holding it down, expecting it, but Hooksy wins out the trade. That is a lightning fast flick to put Copenhagen Flames on 12.
What a marvelous flick there from Hooksy. But it feels altogether, Flames are uncontested when it comes to the T side. Sinners, they were in for a treat heading into this game. Although they had the advantage 9-6 at halftime, that is no longer the case. They're the ones at a 3-round deficit, and it might as well be a 4th, considering they are in shambles when it comes to the economy. Flames, marvelous display of skills from all of these players. Sometimes it comes to an initial advantage, but most of the times it just comes to pure clutches and individual prowess. These guys are feeling it right now, and they're not ready to get eliminated from the Pinnacle Cup just yet. They want a taster of the semi-finals.
What a storyline it would be if the Flames can bring it back on the opponent's map pick and then beat them out on Ancient. But I don't think Sinners will allow that with that much ease. I think it's too clean of a storyline to be telling. The rounds have been very back and forth. Lots of clutches coming out from the Flames. Maybe Sinners can still turn things around. Moving up ramp. Oh, look at this. Look at these little crouch peeks. Don't really work out too well. That still leaves Neofrag and Zetko up for contest.
It took quite some time for Hooksy to spot them out, but eventually he did, and I guess that's what is the end of the deed there. Nikolas pre-fires the angle as he saw Zetko holding that position moments earlier. The Flames, man, they're a completely different beast. I love what I'm seeing. They look to challenge Ancient as well. Double AWP setup for Sinners. It's going to have to be good enough.
Okay, that's a change of pace. We don't often see Sinners take a timeout. In the previous map, we constantly saw the Flames starting to question themselves, lots of scratched heads, lots of question marks. But this time around, the clutches from the Flames side, it is completely changing everything. And you can see that in the series comparison. I think the chance of Sinners to win out this map is slowly dwindling.
Yeah.
Well, not even slowly. I like how it's just it's a very sharp decline.
It is. It has been, because it's been Copenhagen Flames game for so long. Now, what Sinners need to do is get themselves back the advantage. Just get themselves a victory here. Put them still, because it's still a world where Sinners can come back from this deficit. Because getting this round will get them double digits. That instantly becomes a confidence booster. But they need it. If they lose it, I can see Flames taking this game.
Oh, these early Molotovs make it so much more difficult. Beefsteak is caught out in the open for 2 entry frags, but Neofrag wants to keep it in close competition. Zedko in shock. Before they get a chance to voice anything, they've already been taken out of contest. Want to quickly move on to the ace site. And maybe if Shock can pick up that first frag, it becomes doable. A 2v3 is a lot more palatable. Coming in from Ali. But unfortunately for them, the privilege of finding a free frag will simply not be afforded as the Flames move on over to B. Just one member keeping the attention on A. And Zedko even takes a scratch in the process. Kneecaps flying away as Shock has spotted the barrel of the one player that is keeping them on the A site. Man, Pavlos, this is something.
It is, absolutely is. Flames, not only did they have the right read at the start, putting the Flames in the right positions to catch Sinners off guard, knowing that some sort of aggression play would have come out from them, not being scathed by it, and then playing it safe, not going for anything risky, knowing that the rotations would have come in from Sinners, they go for the complete rotation onto the B site. They're not taking any chances, and I like that. They know that they cannot afford a mistake here, because Sinners, they will bounce back from it. I would have thought Zedko would have come alive there, and I would be okay. He's got 2 players running past him, but he still survives. Went no, gets one in the process, but still dies, and is a victim to his opponent's bullets.
Sinners, Pavlos, do we really think that Sinners have a chance here? I think it's slowly slipping out of their hands entirely. Oscar has been unable to take the initiative that normally grants a lot of games to Sinners. And although he is sitting on 19 frags, it simply isn't enough. Man, what a turnaround it has been. We were starting to give Sinners a lot of credit for their Overpass performance, but that sort of puts the Flames side under the rug, where I think they deserve to get a lot of credit for how they've been able to take control of Vertigo by storm.
Oscar, though, puts the only rifle at hand of Sinners to good use so far, so that at least is them placing the cards in order. Step by step, they may be able to gain the advantage. There goes Neofrag, getting one. Quickly traded through by Nikodis' AWP, but no rifle can be recovered as it's too far out of reach. Nade, ouch. This is going to hurt into Beefsteak. Molly is coming through as well. Yabi lines one up as well. There he goes. 2v3 still the advantage for Sinners, but can they pull it through? As I've said, no rifles can be recovered, which is a big deal breaker. Oscar still holding down this ground, but Flames still sticking around to their guns on the ramp side. Yabi looking to challenge now towards this location. Oscar, no discipline on him. Yabi able to win out on that occasion. That's the only rifle from Sinners down. Shock now will look to reposition. What gun will he choose? AWP in his hands and needs to reposition now to hold this push out. Oh, the timing isn't right. Yabi, I think he spotted him as well. Shock will be in a world of hurt if Yabi picks this corner, but he's quick enough to the trigger, draws out the deagle, and he gets the kill as well. Sinners, it's not over yet. Double digits for them, and they're still in the game.
They stopped the Flames from getting to 15. That is a massive road bump for them. And AWP both in the hands of Oscar and Shock now. This is where things really start to cook up. Sinners still heavily favored to win out the series, but the Flames, now they're getting a lot of the faith back. I love how lightning fast Shock was on the trigger, both weapons being deployed, using his full arsenal to bring his team to double digits. Now the economy of the Flames is still looking pretty strong. They've got all the weapons they need, but Yabby's been taken out of the equation. Shock, I love how once you've added an additional AWP to the tally, it can completely change up how the Sinners can approach it. And Hooksy in the midst of the madness, he's taking a fair bit of damage from the Molotov as well. Maybe not anticipating that it would spread on over to his feet. Zetko.
Ooh. Ouch.
He will return the favor in kind as he takes away Hooksy from the server. Just 3 members remaining now on the Flames, but I think that is still 3 too many if history serves us correctly.
And Neofrag, such a vital position.
GG.
Look at that push. There goes Rory. Trigger discipline. What is he waiting for? Spot out Nikodos. He knows where he is. Saw where the Flames came from. There goes the closer. Dink onto Xiphon. Won't be able to get a single kill. Sinners. Flawless round. I love how safe they played it because the Flames, if a mistake is made, they'll be able to bounce back from it. They'll take advantage of it. But they won't allow their opponents to do that.
Look at what's looming around the horizon, Pavlos. It's the fact that if the Flames lose out in another round, especially if they buy up on Nikodos, they are down in the dumps. They will have to allow Sinners to get to 13, maybe even get to 14, before they can really have a voice in the matter. This is not just Sinners having a few sparks there at the end. I think they are on for the full comeback. And what a way it would be. I like how relaxed this player on the Flame side is. Just have a leg up, just taking a chill. I am a bit surprised considering how close they are to potentially getting knocked out, not making it to semis, but you like to see a bit of composure.
Absolutely. You need to be composed when it comes to these games, though, right? You can't let the pressure get to you, and especially when Sinners start lining things up like that. They're a force to be feared. It's their own map pick after all, and they love picking this map up. It's where Oscar sort of comes alive, although we haven't quite seen him be the ultimate performer the past few rounds, which is sort of maybe the reason where Flames are coming back from. But it looks like they want to gift this round to Sinners. They're not going to make it easy, are they? They've got Tech 9s. They want to go for the full-on aggressive push. And I would imagine maybe a contact play as well.
Are Sinners equipped to deal with this, though, because they only have 1 member? Lots of Tech 9s rushing their way, and Oscar has an AWP, tries to chime in, but Zetko's getting it all done by himself. He has surely done enough, but Yabby, he's put in a dent or 2 as well.
He absolutely has, taking both Oscar and Zetko out of the server. Nikodas needs to retaliate. Needs to bring things back for him. AK-47 retrieve the molly. Reaching him. Commits to the plant, but loses his teammate in the process. Yabby needs to say goodbye to him. Nade won't be the closer, but it's B-stick bullet to the heart to end that deed. They lose 2 players in the process, and Flames get the bomb plant. That's some extra cash in the bag.
Just 1 stray bullet from the Tech 9 could have completely changed the outcome of the round. The Flames, they hit the bomb site where no help was available. They had a smoke. They could have deterred Oscar. Oscar missed the initial shot, and if Zetko didn't get those 3 frags, it could be over in a snap. We might already be calling it GG and heading on over to the 3rd map, but they've kept it close. They have kept their opponents on a close leash. But this is where they start feeling the tug, Pavlos, because the Flames, they are back on their weapons. They have a max loss bonus.
If Zetko couldn't have delivered there, that could have been a completely different affair, because Oscar missed out on his first shot, and he was instantly challenged for it. Working on a knife's edge here. This game is a lot closer than they might seem. 1-0 for Sinners, but the Flames want Ancient to be the decider.
Slow pace early on. Normally we see Sinners pushing up close and maybe getting aggressive with a flashbang or have Oscar peek directly into ramp, but this is not the case this time. Just a bit of utility to make sure that the Flames know that Sinners are right around the corner.
Ooh.
If only Shock and Yabby could feel the heat exuding from each other's bodies because they are sitting up so close. Does Shock anticipate this though? Yes, he does. Trade it out immediately, trade it out in time, but Zetko, he's got to put up a performance once again, and this time he's on the AWP.
Ooh, shut down. Zetko and Oscar both putting those AWPs to good use, and Nicoridos wants to bounce back with a similar weapon of his own, but he's not given the space. He doesn't have the chance. The Molotov will make it even harder for him, but no. Gets up a close angle smoke. He wants to retrieve the bomb. How quick can he be? Waits for the spray downs to stop. Waits for the reloads, but Beasting, the timing is right for him. Nicoridos, nothing he can do about it. Although Rory, I think they know exactly where he is. Damage onto Neofrag not going to be good enough. Shut down Sinners. 1 round away from finding the equalizer. They may be able to do so considering Copenhagen Flames' economy.
Oh man, I wouldn't say so just yet, because you know that even with very limited resources, the Flame side can be a powerhouse. Not just Tech 9s, mind you. I mean, even when they're in something of a 2 versus 5, they can still pull on through. So this is still anybody's game. This is not Sinners looking decisive just yet. This is, well, I don't even think that Sinners' money is a big deal right now, but just the rounds being so close for the Flames, just having to get 2, it's a bit too risky.
Flames holding true to their name as they do push forwards without any fear in their eyes. Clean round from Sinners, not taking an inch of damage. The equalizer has been found. It's a 5-round winning streak for the Czech side.
Pavlos. Do you smell that?
I smell a very close game, and it's a delightful smell.
I smell a fresh overtime out of the oven.
Ooh, don't you love those?
Oh, Neofrag doesn't care that there's an AWP on the other end. He will be taking the footstool home. Now, waiting for a teammate's flashbang. It's perfect. He's got it 2. Lines it up for 3. And that's the last man remaining on Yabby.
You're a ballsy
How have they
man.
done this?
From not having any impact for the first 10 rounds of the game to having 23 kills and equalizing Zetko's scoreline. What a performance from Neofrag, but it all came down to the mistake of Nicoridos as well. He had the lineup right, he had the AWP in the right position, but he missed his shot. Neofrag getting the first kill. It looked dicey, but the flash from Beestick flashed all 3 players in that angle, giving Neofrag a leeway to victory. Sinners now are on map and series points.
Things are getting desperate for the Flames. Only 1 round, an inch being given to them. But Beestick, he's already made it so difficult. A nade will follow through. Additional utility, a Molotov. How do the Flames even react to this? There's nothing that they can get coming their way. Beestick adding 1 more to the tally. The GG, the EZ now starting to be typed in as Sinners. They start to run away with it. Zyphon, last man remaining. Nothing he can do, and it'll all be over in a snap. Sinners, they've gotten the comeback.
They have indeed. It wasn't easy at all. It was a challenging game for these guys, but they're able to retrieve the game in a 2-0 fashion. They're on to the semi-finals of the Pinnacle Cup, and I'm sure they're relieved with that prospect. What a game we had on our hands today, Wild Deity. What a performance from both sides.
Absolutely, that was nuts. The way Sinners handled Overpass, first game, absolutely nuts. But the second one, the way they can bring it right back, we almost thought that we'd be heading to map number 3. The Flames had both of their hands on the steering wheel. They're like, all right, yeah, we're going to speed on through, get it to Ancient. But Sinners had something else to say about it. Incredible performances. And what was that flashbang?
Oh man, Beestick, he lined it up just in time for Neofrag to push through. That is the game-winning flashbang. If a flashbang if there's like a flashbang award for this tournament, I think Beestick is a high contender for that.
Yeah, for sure.
And what a game-changing flash, what a game-changing play from Neofrag as well. And unfortunately for Flames, it was also a game-changing mistake from Nicoridos to give them that advantage, because that would have completely unfolded in their favor if he did connect that initial kill, but that didn't come underway. Ladies and gentlemen, what a series have we seen so far? But I think we should talk about our team's journeys coming into this tournament before we shut things out. Copenhagen Flames, they had a splendid Swiss stage. Yeah, at the start of it, I guess they looked a little bit shaky, but they did get 2 wins in a row later on, scrambling their way to the round of 12, beating out a very strong-looking Mountain XT, getting themselves to the quarterfinals, but eventually have to fall in a very I wouldn't say convincing fashion, but a fashion that they themselves can be proud of. They didn't make it easy for Sinners, but I think they highly deserved getting themselves to this point in time. But at the same time, Sinners, they've had a splendid showing so far in the game, undefeated entirely when it comes to matches, not dropping a single match when it comes to this tournament, and they do qualify to the semis.
Yeah, absolutely. What a way to do it. Sinners, hats off to them, and Copenhagen Flames, I mean, more power to them, because that was an incredible game being played out from them. Just a few mistakes here and there avoided them from getting to that map number 3, but I think from both sides the performances were great. But I think that should be it from us. Shouldn't it be, Pavlos?
Absolutely. Stay tuned, though, because there are a lot more games to come underway. I believe it's Forza versus Skade up next here in the quarter-finals, and later on we'll be having Endpoint versus Harvo and Team Spirit versus Find. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoy the commentary and the games at hand, but make sure you stay tuned, have that tab open, because we'll be back very, very soon.